Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to the channel of upright men and women. Guys, this is one of the most shameful, scandalous and disgraceful situation to be happening in modern day Jamaica. The Sport Security Corps, which is a Jamaica government organization, has employees working under slavery condition, sometime over 60 hours per week, highly, or should I say, disgracefully underpaid, being severely mistreated, and are totally left at the bottom of the rung when it comes to salary, benefits, and working conditions. Guys, this is so sickening. You really want to know what's going on in this country, in this modern day, in a government agency. It is so bad to the point where even when last year salaries in every government agency had gone up, none had gone up for the Port Security Corps. And the Port Security Corps is an essential service. Now, before I go any further, I need to explain for those of you who don't know what the Port Security Corps is and what they do. And stay if you hear the nastiness where the government has been meting out to these Jamaican nationals, these human beings that works for this agency. Stand by. But to contextualize it, let's look at who they are. The Port Security Corps was formed on the 5th of April 1989, and as the name suggests, its purpose was to secure our ports. And when I say ports, it includes the Donald Sangsters International Airport, the Norman Manley's International Airport, the one at Boscobel, the airport at Boscobel, Kingston Pen, and the Negril Aerodrome, the Montego Bay Cruise Ship Pier, the Falmouth Cruise Pier, the Kingston Freeport Terminal, the Kingston and Montego Bay Free Zone, and also the Halfway Tree Transport Center. Now, for any of you who have ever traveled through our two international airports, you are likely to have seen these guys because they normally, and ladies, because nearly half of them are women. Lots of women right there. Well, when you're passing, you will normally see them around the baggage area where the X-ray machine is and the baggage go through. They are normally a lot of places in the airport, but mostly you would encounter them when you are traveling in and out, especially going out, and they are checking bags. And here is something that I've learned while doing research for this story, and is that the members of the Port Security Corps is considered to be an essential service. Just like police, nurses, doctors, firemen, soldiers, and so on, they are part of the far come under the aegis of essential services. And they have the powers of arrest. They have the power of search. They have the power of detention. And under the law, are in theory, are accorded a similar level of respect as other law enforcement agencies. Yet, despite all of this, them people are work in a slavery condition and them are work for minimum wage, because if they go home after working just 40 hours, them carry home basically minimum wage. Essential service workers carry a minimum wage. In other words, they are treated like basically any other security guard out there. That is the rate of pay that they are on. They are always understaffed because people don't normally stay very long with them because of the working conditions. Because even though you sign a contract for 40 hours, them impress upon you for do up to 60 hours or more. Some people work 24 hours. Depends on the situation if they are called out. Now, let us elaborate some more on the questions of salary. In last year's budget, that's 2024-25, because for the purpose of the budget, they were considered as security guards, for them salary never raised. On top of that, members of the Port Security Corps are not staff. They are considered contractors. Them sign contractors, so them not depend on pension, and they have no job security. You can be working for a government agency and you have the powers of arrest and detention and search. It is considered an essential service and one of Jamaica's law enforcement agency, and you not have no job security tenure? No, make that make sense. Now, here is one interesting thing that I found out during my research. And let me make it clear. I did not just do online thing. I had interviewed several members of the Corps, and I've gone through several newspaper articles from both Observer and the Gleaner, so I know what I'm talking about. Despite their placement as an essential service and a branch of national security and with all the powers of arrest, they do not fall under the Minister of National Security. How can you be an essential how can you be part of the security, an essential part of the security infrastructure of the country, just like police and soldier, and you don't fall under the Ministry of National Security? So, you might ask, where do they fall? They fall under the Ministry of Transport. Now, make that make sense. Yes, people, just make that make sense for a moment. I hear that they are subsumed to the transport authorities. Like, really? Here is one of the saddest part of the story. Several members of the Port Security Corps are approaching 60. I hear that some of them are over 60 and them can't go home at them yard go sit down. And you may ask, why is that? These people have nothing to go home to. Because this government, in the last budget, had made a promise that they were going to make security guards become staff members. And since these are basically, I don't know, they are a hybrid, nobody not sure. I don't think if the government sure whether them are security or them are national security personnel or them a common little security guard like anybody else. Because none of them are on staff, none of them have security tenure of job security, and therefore several members of the Corps who have been with this organization from the 80s now want to go home at them yard and them can't go home. Why? Because them not have no pension. The government left them to do them own their own taxes and pay their own NHT and so on and so on. And most of these people working there are not so savvy or disciplined to do that kind of thing. And I'm going to call two specific names of two specific ladies. Whether they want to penalize them, and if they get penalized, I'm going to ask these ladies because their names came up. There's a Miss Henry and a Miss McLegan who now works at the airport. One of the airport, the authorities will know who tired and want to go to them yard and can't go home because if them go home, them are go dead for hungry. And they're working with, I hear that it is likely that they have been working with the organization from its inception in 1989 or very soon after. And I honestly think that budget is being read today. And I don't know what Faval Williams is coming up with, but this same thing with the security guard that you, as an administration, had promised to put in place for security officers, you need to come out and clear this up as whether them are plain security guard or them is as essential service, a branch of Jamaica's national security. Make that clear. And tell us specifically where they fall. But one thing we need to get clear, while I am going to blame this government, this current JLP administration, for dragging their feet on this issue of security guards in general, and the members of the Port Security Corps in particular, let us understand that the problem did not begin with the JLP. The Port Security Corps was formed on the 5th of April 1989, just 8 weeks after the PNP had won the 1989 election. They win it in January, and by April, they formed the Port Security Corps. The PNP administration kept the Port Security Corps in that dismal state from its inception all throughout its 18.5 years. So we need to contextualize that. However, this situation has continued throughout the tenure of the JLP administrations. These people have no proper restroom. If they're working late and working at nights and they have to stay, and when they get the rest period, which they do get, they have to hold cardboard, they have to open cardboard box and go put it in the lunchroom for go lay down. Whole of 5 during their breaks. They get no lunch allowance, they get no travel allowance, and the uniform allowance is dismal. They are talked to like dogs and treated like dogs. But here's the kicker, stay with me. They actually have a welfare officer that is there to look after their interests. This welfare officer, said to be one Zelfa Barrett, has been there almost from the inception of the organization. She has been there from ever since. Everybody they come see her, according to what I'm hearing. Her job was to look after the welfare of the security officers, of the agents of the Port Security Corps. However, welfare officer is a misnomer, because all she has done since the day she has gotten the job, according to the history I'm hearing about her, is she do everything to fight down everything to do with their welfare. Any improvement to their lives have to come directly and bypass her and come directly to the officers, because she has done nothing for them, according to what I'm hearing. Nobody who I've spoken to, who are members of the Port Security Corps, has ever had one good word to say about a person. Now, everybody can hate you so if you're a good somebody. Zelfa Barrett, your name is mud in the Port Security Corps. She attends meetings with the with Transport Authority boards and the Ministry of Transport boards on behalf of the Port Security Corps, allegedly or presumably. But she never come back and tell them anything whatsoever. And if they complain to her, she get angry and want to cuss them and put them down. Worse than that, while Zelfa Barrett is supposed to be the person who liaises with the higher authorities on behalf of the Port Security Corps workers, she is actually in bed with them literally. Because the reason why she have provided no services to these workers is because the main person who she's supposed to intercede with on their behalf, she and that person was in a relationship. which at the time posed a conflict of interest. That man has since retired from the government service, but she is still there helping to oppress the workers. Or should I say, continuing to oppress the workers. Now, certain questions I have to ask. And question one, a set of indirect government workers who had the power of search, power of arrest, power of detention, similar to that of police. And this agency is not a branch of the National Security Ministry. Question two, why is it that in practice they are treated just like any other security guard working for any private company? Question three, why are they earning minimum wage? Why are some very tired Port Security Corps workers who are reaching or who have passed retirement age cannot go home because they don't have nothing to live off of? How can the government allow people who has spent over 35 years or more in an organization, from them a young picnic girl or young boy, now can't go home because them a go home go dead for hungry? Now, this madness was started by the People's National Party, but you now have the chance to fix it. And I am going to call on you, the Jamaican government, the current administration. I'm asking you, please, that before the end of this budget debate, 25-26 budget debate, that this matter of the Port Security Corps be addressed, giving them proper representation, proper compensation, and overall some respect. Now, you, the current administration, I have seen where you have cleaned up a whole lot of mess that you came and saw there, and I'm quite sure you can clean this one up too. It not take nothing to clean this up. A stroke of the pen, because all you need is the willingness to have some humanity. Others might have put it in place, but are still your mess. This is still your country. These are still your citizens. And it is totally to your benefit, considering that you have an election to win. And turning nearly 100,000 security guards across the island into employees cannot hurt you. I'm therefore calling on this administration to fix it. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.